Well, hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be doing another pet portrait. This is Ducky and Dragon, two dogs, and yeah, got a cute little scene of them in the house, kind of laying together, which is nice. I'm going to use kind of a similar method to the last one that I did, where I did a sort of set of light washes and then built into it with the cold wax medium. A little spacey this morning, I don't know, just kind of waking up, and I don't know, I was in a good mood to paint, so I figured it would be a good start, but hopefully my words will come to me a little bit more easily as I get going. But yeah, I'll explain what I'm doing along the way. It might be a little bit messy at first, but I've been finding messy starts sometimes lead to kind of the best paintings in the end. So I'm just gonna kind of get into it and trust the work process, and yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna start out. Start with a small round brush and a little bit of my lavender solvent. I think I'm going to sketch a little bit of yellow ochre and a little bit of burnt sienna. It's because they're nice warm, kind of somewhat neutral colors to start with, as I'm just getting the whole thing kind of laid out. Yeah, I feel good about that. So just grab a little burnt sienna here. Gonna start by getting some of the kind of major lines in this figured out. Gonna window here. I don't know how much detail I'm gonna actually keep in the background, but I wanted to at least kind of create this space. So I'm just gonna cruising around and be a little bit messy with this, but and keep my verticals vertical. There are other ways you can do perspective too, but I think for the most part, unless you're trying to do something really dramatic, that's usually the easiest way to start. This might be all a bit extra, but got this top of this one's head here. Let's say there, paw here, elbow here. They're laying on like a couple of towels and blankets and things. Let's see. Get the overall shapes in. The other thing that's nice about starting with earth tones like this is they tend to dry faster than other colors, so this tends to be kind of a nice compliment for this too. Such expressive eyes. These are going to be fun ones to paint. Both of them do, actually. Alright. Got that. I don't want to get too lost. Sometimes I'll find like a little detail and I want to put it in just to make sure I've got things in the right place. Mostly just because I want the proportions to feel right. So I would say this body might be a little stretched right now, but I think I've got the general idea right. I feel like if I do too much with the details and the lines and things early on, I tend to worry about covering them up, which usually isn't quite as good. Do that. And then kind of here. I think I've got this window a little low, so I'm just not going to worry about that for right now. I'll move it up if I need to. I'm trying to keep their faces in the right proportions for now. Block in some dark areas, but I'm not gonna go too crazy other than this guy's face is mostly dark, so just do that. It helps me see the shapes a little bit better. Okay, about right. I've got a foot that's getting lost in this blanket here, but I'm gonna try to have it in there. That's pretty good. It's gonna grab a little bit of burnt umber. This will go just kind of a step darker. I'll try and just place eyes and nose a little bit. Just make sure I've got the general idea here. Yes. It's getting in close. It's not, again, nothing's 100%, but start getting things kind of roughed in. Don't worry, you'll get eyes too. Alright. Put some of the shadows in. Alright. Cool. The lighting on this is nice. I think I like backlit scenes a lot. I think that it tends to give, I don't know, it's one of those things that doesn't always work as well in the photo, but it works well in paintings for me, I feel like. Maybe that's because I have the ability to adjust a few things here and there that like make the forms show up still. Okay. 2. This color get into place here. I've got this blanket, which I think I'm gonna use this. I like it. It's kind of a nice way to lead you into the picture. So just kind of work it in here. Some other stuff I might or might not include. I don't know. It's like a basket. Kind of, yeah, 2 blankets here actually. Cool. I think that's the general gist of it as well. It's all kind of working now, so that's nice. So then I'm going to go from here, and then I'm going to just try to put in some kind of underpainting washes to just keep kind of working everything out. Some of this might end up being final for the sort of surrounding areas. So yeah, I'm going to grab kind of a medium-sized flat brush for this. And I'm still going to be mostly just working in the lavender solvent and my earth tones here. Well, maybe I'll probably add in some other colors, but I'll start. First I want to do kind of a mix of these two, and I want to just get that in. There's sort of like a hardwood floor here, and I think this will be perfect for that. So I'm going to go a little thicker now with the paint though. Lately I've been really enjoying leaving some paint where there's like a little bit of a brush stroke, a little bit of sort of a wide, I don't know, look. I don't know, maybe that's not the word I'm looking for, I don't know. A wider range of tones coming from single brush stroke, I guess. Like there's a little bit of a glare on this floor here. So try and use the brush strokes in a similar way with these boards. Try and use that angle. It's a really simple way to work. Alright, so I've got that. And then I've got this blue blanket and a kind of a alizarin colored blanket. I think for the blue one, I'm actually going to use a little bit of I'm actually just going to keep going with this and just put in some of the darks. And with this brown, it's going to dull the blue a little bit when it goes on. And as I go back a little bit, I'm seeing almost like a magenta undertones. I think I'm gonna start, as I go further up, I'm gonna use some magenta. Maybe a little magenta, a little bit of Viridian even. It'll also give it a little bit of separation from this foreground area too. So I'm gonna grab a little magenta here, tiny touch of Viridian, and actually just use it just to dull the magenta down just a little bit. And get a little bit more of that. Start making this adjustment to the bottom of the window here. Looks like it's a little higher than I had. Right, I'll mess with this a little bit. Sometimes I'm always, when I have like lines near a head, I kind of will adjust that sometimes. Just move things around. That's not too bad though. Okay. A little bit. Bumped up here. It's kind of a dark corner. Yes. That's a little better. I'll get to knife before too long, but if you're getting bored of this, just skip ahead too. I think as I challenge myself more, though, I do have to spend a little bit more time with layout. With landscapes, I think I can cheat a bit, and it just works out anyway. But where I have subjects, I do need to take a little more time. Keep sneaking over here. I've got this little bit. I've got some safflower oil in with my lavender spike, and because I have the oil in it, it doesn't dry out as fast. But it also means it will dry slower on the canvas. But it's a little bit more convenient, I guess. All right, so I've got that. I'm gonna do a bit of an underlayer here. A lot of this is like, I'm kind of making a map, and I'm paying attention to sort of the angles of the brush strokes, because a lot of these you'll be able to see later. But I'm still really trying not to worry about getting too specific either. There we go. Okay. It's coming along. Take just a touch of ultramarine. Just set in some blue tones back here. A little bit of blue in with this magenta. I do think putting this thin layer on to start also gives me a little bit more control as I layer more things in later. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of cobalt. Wasn't the most elegant, but okay. A little bit. A little bit of paint off here now. Just bring that a little bit lighter along this edge. I like how that blends in now. It's kind of cool. Some of these I'll probably sort of simplify a bit. A little bit of alizarin. Keeping this really simple and barely even bothering to mix anything, because again, this is just to kind of map some things out. I think it's nice to kind of find that right amount of control that you actually need. Not try to overdo it either, though. Okay. This is a little confusing. I've got blanket. I think that's a foot. And then I've got more blanket. That's what's happening here. Fabric's really fun to paint too. Okay. Got them almost set into some scenery. Okay. A little of this, a little of that. Good. Got this very light blue light coming through the window, and it's hitting a bunch of this stuff here. I don't know know how much I really need to represent that right now. Maybe I'll do a little bit. And for that, I will use some Sever's Blue just as it's a little bit more manageable. Phthalo. Technically, it's not a transparent color. I've been trying to stick to transparent colors for this first layer, but it has a little bit of white in it, so I think it'll work. Try and keep it pretty clean. Pretty intense. We'll just go for it anyway, though. I find sometimes kind of overdoing it on your first layer, then as you go on with the wax, you can sort of dial it back a little bit, but you have these little bright bits that are just really compelling in the end. A little bit more brown into this. Kind of thinking I want to block out most of the white in the background here. Kind of calm it down a little bit. That settles that down a little bit. I'm gonna do kind of a similar thing here. I do want to keep this light, but more just like to be a light source than to be a little bit of this blue right in right here too. Let's go crazy with it. Just looking for a couple of those spots where it's getting them. This one looks extra crazy right now, but it's gonna be good. I believe. Alright, so that looks pretty good to me for an underpainting. I'll have a lot more control with the light colors, I feel like, when I go in with the wax. So. I'm just kind of cruising around, putting in some marks, but there's nothing too much that needs to happen here, I don't think. Before I give it a little dry time. A tiny bit of meridian back here too. There we go. It looks dark, but it'll be easy to bring the light back in. I think having these little pops of color will be worth it though. Simplify this area a little bit here. Not sure how much any of that will matter. I'll just kind of use the brush strokes as a suggestion there. Not go too much further than that. They have a ball here too. I don't want to take that away. No, I don't. Put a little yellow on it already. I know the screen looks a little crazy, but it actually kind of relates to this yellow. It's just like bouncing just a little bit, which is kind of cool. Again, these things will get, a lot of it's going to get covered, but I love just having these little bright bits here and there. Just relate that way. It's kind of cool. Okay. I think that might put me at a good stopping place for now. But yeah, I really like this at the start. Feels good to be painting. It's been a busy couple of days. And I wanted to do more. I wanted to record, but it's been tricky. I'll be back in a few. Alright, and I'm back. And this is all set up really nicely. I let it dry for a day, and it's all ready for going ahead with some wax. So I'm gonna grab some wax and some knives, and I'm gonna just kind of set up and get going. This probably won't be the last session on this one. This will probably be kind of get it close, and then I'll come back one more time and just do the last few details. But at least that's kind of how I foresee it going. But you never know. So yeah, just gonna get some wax out. There we go. Handy tool. It kind of ends up everywhere in my studio though. Clean knife to scoop this out with. That should be enough for now. I'm going to focus in on the dogs first. I'm going to kind of work into the background kind of slowly and decide how much of it I actually want to include in more detail. So I think to get going, I'm going to start in the lighter colors for the most part, though I might add a couple others, but I'm going to mix up a few colors to have to just kind of work around with. So I'm just going to mix up a couple of colors here. I want to have kind of a little bit of a range of whites, and some kind of medium browns and grays. So we'll start with just some wax, some white. Got a little bit of yellow ochre in this mix because it was on my knife, which I think is going to work just fine for this. I don't actually want this to be kind of true white, but I thought having some of it to work with would be a good place to start. And then let's see, so a little bit of yellow and I'm going to do a purple to kind of cancel it, but I don't have like a purple, so maybe I'll just make a little bit of a alizarin cobalt purple. Use a little bit of that to dull the ochre down. Put a little bit of wax in with that too. I think sometimes it's just like good to have a few kind of close colors to work back and forth with. Take that, take this ochre, and mix these together. That's a nice brown for some of these slightly shaded areas, I think. Okay. Go kind of thin with this to start. Just sort of start working in some of these colors. I'm going to start with this dog that's a little bit in the back. I'm going to do just a slightly alizarin one too. Kind of mixed off with this. And that one might have to go a little bit more white. Ideally, I would organize these on the palette, but it's not always the easiest thing to do. So I've got, this dog's got a little bit of light here. This is a hip bone here, I think. And just gonna layer that in there. I don't want to cover up everything I put in here for this underpainting, so I'm just kind of working things in. And again, I get a little bit more control with these whites, I feel like, with the wax. Just tend to not sort of mix into each other too much. And I'll go into the darks a little bit later. Thinking that if I set up the lights, it might give me a better idea as to how dark I need my darks to be. That's the theory anyway. Here, go a little bit more toward this purple blue. A little bit lighter. Sometimes it's just a little bit nicer to just work around when you have a few colors kind of set up. Here, a little bit of this color. Okay. A little darker here. Even yellower one, maybe. A little yellower, a little whiter. Let's try that. It's really good when you're working with white. It's like, don't assume any of it's really white. Because if you can get all these little color shifts, it really just changes and makes it into something magical. Okay, that looks pretty good. A little lighter. Still somewhat golden here. I do, as I'm getting these set up, I'll usually like edit them a little bit, and I'll increase the saturation on the colors just because it makes it a little bit easier to see what's in there. Even if I don't paint it quite that saturated, sometimes it'll give me ideas for how to mix the colors. I'm not thinking too much about fur directions yet, but a little bit's okay. Okay, and here, let's get a bit darker. Going a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter. So far I haven't really gone into the faces yet, and I think I'm going to probably in a minute, but I thought a lot of the stuff looked kind of like low-hanging fruit that I could just get it kind of laid in quickly, so I figured I'd
give that a try first. Let's see. Tiny touch yellow, okay. And these pods are probably a little short right this second, but I just want to kind of work in some colors here. Probably go in with the brush and do a little bit more, but sort of finding my way. There's all this light up here that was, I put in this blue because I was kind of thinking like a good undertone on it. It was just a little bit blue looking. I like that. We'll see as I kind of carve around with the brush, it'll probably become a little bit more apparent. Let's see, put this kind of purple color in here. Sort of help define the side of his face. And I'm gonna go even a little darker maybe with some of this. Put a little bit of raw umber in. Just because I wanna leave this fur kind of soft, but I do want it to have these little dark bits there, so just kind of mixing them in. That's the kind of nice thing about painting with a knife, though, is you don't have to get everything right all at once. It's kind of relaxing because you can kind of just noodle around a bit. Give yourself some time. Okay. And this section of his nose is almost a little bit pink. There's some kind of pink around his eyes too. Just kind of pop it in here. It's not going to be, these shapes are going to be wrong, but pretty good. And most of this haze is kind of a little bit more gray here. Probably the lightest area is down here and over on this side. So I'll fill that in with like a white, at least a little bit. Making some different grays here too. Want some cool grays and some warm grays. And it's kind of like a little dark bit there. I don't know if I'm gonna get it to stick. I did. More or less anyway. Slight amount of Cypress blue. Mix that into this purple shadow here. Just kind of work that in here. It's looking pretty good. Take a little bit more yellow ochre, brown, a little bit of this gray color. Just a touch more wax. Try and fill in these paws a little bit. And there. It's kind of a space where I should paint that blanket area in. And then these paws over here are kind of dark too. Darker spots here. It's going to be kind of the pads of the feet. Just going to kind of blend it in right now. Okay. A little bit of a lighter gray in here. I want to forget that foot. Just a little bit of light white there, and a little bit grayer here, and kind of a dark underside of the foot too. Okay, cool. Alright, so I think I will put in a bit darker. I'm going to do alizarin and viridian. Oops. Maybe a little more viridian though. Just to make a really strong dark for the dog on the left. And that would be good. I like this combination. It's generally you'd think it would turn brown, but it actually turns like slightly purple. I think it sometimes just a touch of blue with it could be nice too. I'm going to leave a little space here because I don't want to start mixing these lights and darks together yet. I might blend them a little bit, but I like it to stay kind of neat. I'm going to kind of come in with a brush and do that, I think. And then we'll put his eye in too, but again, right now it's just too likely to get messy, so I'm just going to leave it alone for a little bit. Same thing here. There we go. Okay. Swap over to a brush. And use this little filbert. For now, this is one of my favorites for just defining some edges and kind of moving things around a little bit. So, somewhat, I'm just kind of contouring here. I'll just started in this area actually because it feels like one of the easier ones. But just kind of bringing along this edge here too. This is it'll hide some of this blue, but it also kind of reveals some of it too. Just kind of creates that undertone. A little bit of white right here. It's so cute how they're snuggling together like this. And then here, kind of same idea, just moving around a little bit. Create a little bit of softness. I find like it's so tempting to try to paint a lot of detail on pets, and it's actually, if you just lay out the right values and kind of get the right colors working, you can do a lot with not actually painting every single hair on them. It's just kind of like recognizing kind of the direction of the fur. Just kind of softening these edges, but the knife works so well for making colors that if you tried to mix these with a brush, it would be, you could do it, but it would either take long or they would just tend to not be quite as bright. It's kind of like lets it all get set up, and then you have a little bit more to work with. Try to get some of this shape of the face in here now. Just due to the scale, this would be kind of hard to get this with a knife. But I'll be able to come back and kind of refine it a little bit more. This also lets me kind of create all the shapes. Coming along like that. Okay. Do the same thing over on this guy. We can go even a little bit lighter. Work out that line here that's in between them. It's a good opportunity to be able to decide things like kind of the final place that belongs. some of this it's like with the short hair you want to do little short strokes. Makes some sense anyway, I think, as a theory. But a lot of this is, I'm just kind of maintaining not having paint that's too thick right now. Just making kind of the right adjustments. Hopefully, right? Here we go. Nice and light. Just gonna scratch in where this eye goes right now. Which I'll be able to do. I'll do some more with this, but as the wax sets up, I'll be able to use this too as kind of a guide in a way. It's pretty good. This other eye I almost can't see. I'm gonna mark it in here too. It just seems wrong not to have it there. There we go. I'll fix that up a little bit more after too. Okay, that's pretty expressive though. Just a little of this blue right in here too. Okay. A little bit of white. That's good. I like that. Okay. A little bit. A little bit of a highlight there. Such sweet boys. Okay. Kind of in between gray right here. Tiny bit of purple too. I think there's the ear line here, which I'm not I can see a little bit better if I zoom in. Or I assume something wrong and painted it. Cool. Here, we'll just fill this in a little bit more. Might be a little bit light, but just gonna blend it a little darker. Try and get the nose shape in there right. I think it's pretty close, but that's pretty good. Just a little darker there. A little simpler. All right, cool. Take just a little alizarin, a little bit of my solvent, and I'm going to just go in here to this little between the paws area. Just fill that bit of blanket in here. That was really just something I kind of missed, which happens. Okay. Overall looks pretty good. It's coming along anyway. Still a ways to go, but I want to do a little bit more with his face. Just gonna keep refining. Look at some of these little shapes. I think there's some more I can do with that. Do the same thing, grab a little bit of sienna, a little solvent, just fill in this little ear space here too. Softening this edge a little bit here. Just bringing it in a little bit too. Okay. And then a little shadow. I'm trying to follow the lines of where the fur is. I really do like painting animals. I didn't know that I would get kind of into that when I started painting, but I think it's why it's good to paint a lot of different things. Because you never know. You never know what you'll turn out to like doing a lot. A little bit of white in there. Something slightly weird about this ear right now. It might be too big. It's a little big, yeah. Alright, so I think I need to kind of adjust its edge there. And then back here, it's gonna go, that's gonna be part of its back and not part of the ear. So just kind of just adjusting that contour a little bit. Ear's a little off too. And just scrape it a little bit. And just get the wax off of that, and then I can fill it in a little bit more sienna. There we go. Just a little bit of a rounder shape. I think ears can be some of the trickiest bits sometimes. Just putting in some of the little bits of pink in the ear, around the eyes. Just a little bit at the mouth there too. Actually a little bit under this ear too. Pretty good. Try to get the expressions right. It's always a good challenge. It's like a little flick of an ear. Looks a little better. Okay. Let's scrape out just a little bit more here. Because I'm trying to do the ears. I'm trying to get them right. But they also, there's a lot of complexity, so I think I tend to make them a little bit too big. Which isn't necessarily the end of the world. That looks a little better to me. There we go. It's a little better. Same thing, just kind of going around watching the flow of the fur, watching the shapes. Let's see the toes here. Pretty happy. These might be my favorite paws that I've done so far, and I feel like I haven't really worked into them too much, but they just have the right look to them. Try not to overdo it. Ruin them now. Got these ones to work just as well. That'd be good. Okay, I need a darker shadow coming in here. A little darkness right in between these paws. It's looking pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna definitely give the blankets a little bit more attention. I may end up doing the whole thing with wax. I like a lot of this sort of subtlety that's kind of coming in around here, but I think there's a little bit of a lostness to it. Yeah. All right. I think while I have my weights out, I'm gonna do a little bit with this window area back here. Let's take a little bit of white, maybe a tiny bit of cobalt into this. Start to work a bit of this in. See, it doesn't take a lot. Just a little bit moving some colors around. But Getting the light in on top of the dark just kind of makes it glow like that. Let's see, so let's do a little bit more here. Okay. Similarly, up this way, same way. I want to create some shapes out there. I don't want to do too much with it, but just going to create a little bit more here. Take a little bit of a dark edge. Cooler. And then I've got some blue blanket, some teal wall. Lighten this just a little. I'm gonna keep it a little subtle. Let a bunch of colors be in there. It's fine. Let's see. Maybe bring this teal a little later. I like that kind of warm undertone on it. I think that just kind of brings it all together a little bit better. Keep that a little simple. Maybe just a little bit more blue. I don't know, maybe. Get some more wax in there too. Gonna start working in this blanket. I'm not gonna worry about it's like a basket here, and I think I'm not gonna do too much for us, so I'll just leave it out. I'm just gonna put a soft edge in here. sort of lighter blue streak there. There we go. A little more wax in there. I should mix with my knife. I'm just getting kind of got into a flow with doing what I'm doing. All right. It's coming along. Put a little bit more cobalt in here. I like the blanket being pretty bright blue though. It's nice. I think it's gonna kind of help set them up in a nice way. Do a little bit more. And just a little of this brown. I hadn't mixed in quite enough wax, so I just pulled it off the board and put it back on. A little bit better mixed. Coming along though. A little more cobalt, a little more wax, maybe even a touch of alizarin here. Go slightly toward purple. It's kind of got this purple blanket reflecting against it, but I don't want it to kind of take over and look like they're the same blanket. Okay. That looks pretty good. Up a little more here by the paws. And there's a little bit, let's see, right around the ball up at the top, it's a bit darker. Let me grab some of that. And the lower part, it's a little bit of a wrinkle around it. It gets a little bit lighter. So we'll do that too. So back to my brush. That rag has gotten very, very messy. Okay, so let's see. And put this kind of, there's like a quilt texture on this, so I might as well use my brush to do that. I'm gonna do a little blending anyway. Just gonna go in back and forth, little kind of X's. Try and do that kind of across the whole thing. At least as much as it's possible. It's a little tough in some of these tight spots. It's worth the attempt though. Okay, it's pretty good. little bit of an edge. This part right here gets very dark. Very dark and very light. Close together. There we go. That looks pretty good. Okay. Let's see. I think because I touched up some of this alizarin area with this blanket, I'm gonna let it dry before I go into that area, though I'm gonna paint. I'll probably paint that blanket in a similar way. I think I may put in a little shadow underneath this blanket on the floor, though. It's just giving it a little bit more depth and a little bit of separation. So, a little alizarin, a little viridian, a little wax. I'm gonna put kind of a good amount of shadow right here. Probably layer in a couple of colors here, but start with that. A little more over here. And I think I might just take the brush to the rest of it. So. And here I'm going to go, I'm going to get a little bit, just a little warmer. I'm going to take a little bit of burnt sienna, a little bit of alizarin crimson, and mix that into that dark that I had made. Just kind of create a little bit more warmth in here. Maybe do the same thing over here too. I think for that, I'll switch to this rectangular brush because I think I'm going to brush it out kind of like the lines of the floor. And I think a slightly squarer look will be better for that. As much as I can handle that. a little bit of light back in here. There's some sort of objects in that basket that are lit up, but since I skipped them, I think that the blanket could be lit up instead. Let's switch to this other brush though, just to keep my textures consistent. There we go. Does this seem like a good stopping place for now? It might be. Gonna just check my edges. Make sure I'm not leaving anything too strange. I think that looks pretty good. I think this looks pretty good. Put a couple of these little details on the collar while all this stuff is soft. I feel like it's probably, it's good to have it here sort of structurally, but it's one of these details that also could take away more attention than it really deserves to, just because it's like a high contrast thing. So hopefully by blending it in while everything's wet, that will be less of an issue. Just a little yellow ochre in there maybe. That's pretty good. Okay. I think this might be a good stopping point for today. But I like it a lot. I think it's got a good look to it. I think it's gonna be a good painting. Yeah, alright, well, I'll be back in a few. Alright, and I'm back. Yeah, just gonna keep going with this. I'm gonna do a little bit of work on the background. Just kind of keep refining everything together a little bit as I go. I like the sense of the light coming through the window, so I'm gonna keep working the lights in the background a bit more. And yeah, obviously put a little more detail into the dogs. It's all nicely dried, nicely set up, so should be good to work with. Let's see. Trying to decide. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make some whites and maybe some yellows to go in here. Clean this brush out just a little bit. I'm gonna try to keep it's a knife for this, but I'll probably kind of keep going in the same way that I have. I think it's giving me a good result, and that's kind of important to me. So I definitely want to do a great job of these guys. So the little brush needs to happen. The little brush will happen. All right, so I'll grab this knife. use, I've got a new yellow that's sort of semi-transparent. It's similar to a cadmium yellow. It's called Gamboge Lake Extra. Wait, I'm gonna play with that a little bit and put it on the palette. Maybe I'll put that with a little bit of wax. I'd move the wax to the back area. Put a bunch of it in there. Just gonna see. It's got a really, yeah, it's really strong pigmented paint. I like that. Okay, it might be probably too yellow like that. I'm gonna add a little bit of white in there. And kind of play with that too. Maybe just pop a little bit of that right here and right here. And a little dash here. And then maybe a little bit of burnt sienna into this mix. A little bit more wax. I'd move the wax off to the back corner just to make it a little bit easier to clean the palette off. Just layer that in there too. Just try and get a little bit more glow on this cabinet. Here I've got some, this is more of a light blue. These louvers are kind of angled up. Maybe that's a little bit more yellow in here, but we'll do a white and wax. And just a touch of cobalt. Let's try that out. Let's start by just brushing this down first. I'm gonna just I want to get kind of the right amount of detail back here, but there's kind of a lot going on, and I feel like it has the potential to get distracting. I'm gonna try hard not to let that happen, but I can always kind of put another layer on top and just kind of keep working on it a little here and there. My brush just kind of tipped at like a 45-degree angle here just to try and get this edge shape about right. It's got the light. It's a little weird, but it's
got something working for it, I feel like. It's not bad. Alright. Take a little knife here, just scraping knobs there. I'm finding for like little hardware details, I really like doing this. Like that, okay. Similarly here. Just trying and get that. It's not too bad. It's simple and it's a little bit messy, but I think it's just, it kind of is what it is, which I like. I like a painting that doesn't pretend too much. Imagination's one thing, pretending is another thing. Okay. I might put in a darker shadow, kind of right along here, and kind of sweep it up, but I'm gonna let it be for now. I think that's not too bad. Alright, let's try. Gonna work on this blanket a bit here. This is it's very strong, kind of alizarin color. And it gets a little lighter and it gets a little bluer. Get some more of that paint. Maybe I'll make a couple options there. Let's do a slightly blue, slightly green one, and that'll be the darkest. Some wax. And I'll do another one that's just going to be more or less just regular alizarin and wax. Do one more. I'm just going to grab a little bit of this and go into this blue. And that is a pretty nice and sort of highlight color for a couple of spots. Maybe even a little stronger. I'm going to take this one right in here first. I'm going to layer over it. There we go. And then take some of this middle one. A little bit of that in. I'm just kind of layering it right on top. It just naturally blends in pretty nicely. It's a good way to make these shapes come together without working all that hard, honestly. I'm not getting into too much trouble there. Just looking at this. Alright, so this edge here, let's say right along this paw, is on the sort of darkest side. So I'm just gonna put a little edge in like that. Clean the knife off. Put in a little bit of this more medium one. I'm just putting this down on one side so I'm not getting too much red on the paw, hopefully. Alright, and then I've got over here, I'm going to take my darkest one, put in this little loop here. And the blanket's kind of folding over on itself. And do kind of the same thing in here. There's a little bit of that going on. I'm trying not to worry about details too much, just getting these sort of biggest shapes in place. There's a lot of wrinkles in the blanket, especially this area right next to the dog. There we go, there we go. It's kind of a whole bunch of these. There we go. And maybe one more stripe across here. That's about right. And the rest of this, there's not really any of this light color, it's all kind of this more medium alizarin. So I'll just kind of pop it in between. Just a little messy, but it's okay. Slightly light area here. I'll just give that there. Okay. Just a little bit of a light area right in here. Okay. Take a brush to that. Alright. And I'm going to do just little short strokes for this too. I'm going to kind of try to texture this one the way I did the other one. I'm just kind of making it like a little bit fluffy looking. I'm gonna basically keep all the colors in the same places, but just use the brush to give it some shape. Okay. Okay. Pretty good. There we go. Try and look at just the different planes here. It's a little complicated. It's 'cause it's a shape with a lot going on, but I think really if I get the basics right, the rest of it will kind of come together. Okay, that's pretty good. This edge here, I'll follow this one around with the paw. It's tucked right in. I'm just gonna simplify this blanket a bit here. It's like a little too much going on. And I'll do a little bit more for this paw. I'm actually gonna scratch some of that paw right out. Let's see. I'm just gonna bring in the red a little bit closer first, though. Okay. It's pretty good. Let's take the pointy knife. Pointy knife is good for this. And I got the toes and the claws kind of. Yeah, I think that's fairly good. Just scrape this blanket out a little bit more here too. I might come over this with a little bit more white. It's just a little unnecessarily red. I don't know. Or maybe it wasn't. I'm not really sure. But nonetheless, it's a lot of red, so I don't want it to look too red. I don't know. Maybe it's fine if it looks too red. Here. Just give this edge a little bit of thickness. Just trying to figure it out, you know. But I like how the wax lets you work kind of sculpturally at the same time. As like with colors. Oh, it's a little weird, but let it be for a bit. I'm gonna take a little bit of alizarin, actually a little bit of this mess here, and go into this bird sienna that I made before. And I'm gonna use this right in here. Just kind of clean up this edge a little bit. Trying to line some kind of strange lines that maybe I should represent, maybe I shouldn't. Do that. A little bit of this here. Just let that kind of fade out. And go up a little bit higher. pretty good. Okay. I'll do a little bit of the same in here. But it's just kind of finding the right ways to lead you around the picture. I think bringing in a little bit, it's a little bit of dark in this corner isn't a bad thing though. Guides you down. Let's see. Try that. Again, I'll keep this kind of soft. Good. Just kind of finding the right amount of light, right amount of contrast. It's pretty good. Okay. That. This one, do that. This red blanket is just so intense. I like it though. I'm trying to figure out if it needs to, it kind of doesn't fit right now, and I think it's because I don't have any reflections on the fur that are really relating to it. There's like a kind of warmness, but it's not perfect. But okay, let's see. Let's do a little bit for this ball. I think I've got this yellow here, which is kind of a nice yellow. It might be a little too bright. I kind of like it. I'm gonna throw it on here for a second. It's not bad. Take a little of this. Oops. Not that much. Not that much at all. Not in a messy way like that. Let's try and get that out of there before it causes trouble. Got a little bit of this sort of whiter, bluer. Put that on the top edge. And then I'm seeing like a little bit of like an orange. Sometimes I just don't want to add another color. I'm trying to find the right mix with some things that I have out here already. There you go, that's not too bad. It's like a little bit of green here, maybe. It's not bad. I think I'm gonna put just a little bit more white on there too. So let's grab some white. That's pretty good. It looks fairly round. Looks fairly happy. All right. Yellow was intense. I don't know. Maybe I like that. Maybe I don't like it. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I'm tempted to go back into this. I think I want to let a lot of the things around the dogs set up and then go back into them one more time and do all of the little details in their faces. But right now I think that because all the wet paint and such bright colors around it that it's a little risky, so I think I'm gonna give this one more little break, and I'll be back one more time. So yeah, I'll be back in a few. Alright, and I'm back with Ducky and Dragon. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of go into this. I want to work on some details and some edges, almost edges more than details. I think that they kind of work together, but it's really kind of about creating the right feeling of focus and like getting the expressions right and some of that. But in a way, like lately I've been thinking about edges a lot. So this is going to be kind of where I mostly work into that. I want to go back into the dogs and probably let the scenery be for the most part, though I might touch a few things on it. But yeah, really crisp them up and yeah, just get their expressions right. So I'm gonna mix up a few colors. I'm gonna start with a couple of dark shades and a couple of grays, one way or the other, right? Yeah. So this one, I'm thinking I might use some ultramarine, but a little bit of ultramarine and a little bit of raw umber. Oh, it's so sweaty right now. Anytime this heat wave wants to end, I am fine with that. Add just a little bit of raw umber here too. I know that I've got some, but it's a little bit skinned over, so it won't hurt to top it up a little bit. Ultramarine, raw umber. Looks pretty good. A little bit of wax. And that'll be a nice dark for some of the eyes and nose and things like that, I think. And then, let's see, what else am I gonna want? I'm gonna want a white, complete opposite end of the spectrum. Maybe I'll make a black and a white and then pop between them a little bit and make some middle tones. I'll shift them a little warmer, a little cooler, and just kind of move the colors around as I need to. I think that's a good place to start.
particular needs a little bit more definition on his face, especially around the eyes. I'm going to use a small brush for this too, just because I feel like I really need to be able to get in there. Let's make a medium, like a gray, with just a touch of alizarin in it. Maybe another one that's slightly more blue. Not that blue though. Making kind of small amounts of paint right now because I think largely I'm not gonna need too much of any of these. It's gonna be kind of going in a few spots and just kind of making things work. Cool. Let's start there. So I'm gonna grab this little brush here. I'm just gonna go right into these eyes. That they're important and kind of frame out the rest of the face. And I know I said eyes and then I went right to the nose because that's what I wanted to do real quick. I just felt like the shape wasn't quite right. I'm just using it to kind of anchor the rest of the facial details. So. And do a little bit of this, a little bit of this. Just gonna make this little gray shape here. Could even be a little bit more brown. Very expressive eyes. Okay. Just trying to look for some shapes and then just put them right in where they go. If I'm careful about it, actually probably won't take a lot, as long as I don't get too messy. Pretty close. Try and get the right shape in here. sometimes it's these little brighter edges that really help you tell the rest of the story. I wonder if I have another brush that would give me just a little bit more of a point. That's got more of the right look, I think. Let's see. Pretty good. A little lighter right here, maybe. Just kind of sculpting out that nose. It's pretty good. Like this, maybe right here. Just the corners of the mouth are just like a little darker. And a little bit of fluff coming over the collar. Let me go slightly blue gray too. Like there's these small areas where the color just shifts. Pretty subtle. It kind of just helps make that light all tie together. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Okay. A little better. Just a little bit more of this light here. Just really brings in kind of the last bit of dimension that we need. Okay. Similarly here. A little bit of this blue mixed in isn't bad either. Or this blue. Such an interesting set of colors. right. Just kind of creates that little elbow shape right here. I don't know if dogs technically have elbows, but I think it's elbow-like. A little bit of pink. This little sort of spine area is a good one to kind of fix up a couple edges here. Just give them a little bit of space. The other thing I was thinking about is, despite this leg kind of dipping into the blankets, I think I am gonna bring it back out a little bit. It's just too strange right now. It's bugging me. So I'll just let it sort of peek through there. I think that works better. Just having that connected, it just helps. Still let him be kind of snuggled in there, but not quite so covered up. Let's see, a little bit of white here. A little darker. Yeah, fairly good. A little bit of pink in my brush. I'm gonna get this little like edge of the fur here. It's got a little bit too red on the edge there. I'm gonna shadow it in a little bit and just cover a couple of these little spots where it's a little more red than I would have wanted reflecting in. I don't think it's too bad though. Might not take much. Pretty good. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna just switch over to this little filbert and just kind of try to soften some of this a little bit. I don't want the fur looking very long. I like the brush strokes. I like how they sort of work with the shadows and whatnot, but I also kind of want to like have them feel, I don't know, a little bit more in there. I don't know. Maybe for short hair, it's really better to just not think too much about the fur direction. I've got a good amount of that kind of factored in. But just let that be a little bit more gray. This pink edge was, I wanted to fix this yesterday and I knew that if I touched it, it would just get more mixed in with the pink. So I thought waiting was probably the play. I like his toenails. I don't know, somehow it feels more dragony having claws. Maybe they're a little exaggerated though. It's pretty good. Should do his front ones too. They are there after all. I'm gonna work on the shapes of these ones too. Got the little toes in here. He looks pretty relaxed. Okay. And maybe just a touch of yellow ochre. It's nice to kind of work on your whites on a separate day to some of the other stuff, just because it takes a lot of palette space to mix all the different colors you might want to use. Putting just a little bit of reflected light in here. I think fur is good to like build in layers though, like if you get kind of your shadows in and then you can kind of just pick up on brighter areas as you need to. I'm gonna give his face a little bit more attention too. I think eye, to me it looks like a little bit green. I'm hoping I'm right. It's gonna be kind of dim. I'm gonna put a little bit of brown in with it. Just a touch of green. Right here. Really careful. Maybe just a touch of white so it stands out a little bit more. A little tiny bit of wax too. Go like mostly brown. Oh, okay, yeah, brown is the way to go. Okay, a little bit of white in this corner here. And not really any white on the other side. Put the little sparkles in too. I'll wait this a little longer. I'm gonna grab just a little more of this green, go into this dark here, make it just a little lighter. It's almost like a little there. Do a little ultramarine type gray too. Black fur is really fun to paint too. It's kind of that reflects everything in a very different way than what the white does. But it's still something you gotta kind of like track it. Not just one color by any means. Okay. Like that. I'll kind of build this up a little bit here, just almost more for the texture than for the color. So I'm just bringing in some more black, and just letting this, as I layer it, it'll get a little bit darker into the sort of darkest areas of the face. I think it just gives it a little bit more. A little more. Should go up a little bit in this gray too. A little bit of pink. Trying to find the right gray for this one. It's kind of a lighter gray. Don't want to go too white though either. This is kind of a shadowed area. I don't want to let a lot of this sort of blue that I've got here kind of sit in. But it's kind of give it a little more texture. good. Like that. I feel like it kind of brings it together a bit. Okay. Just gonna get this idea of these spots around his nose. Okay, that's pretty good. Put just a little dash of blue here, a little bit of white. So easy to feel like you're off just like a little bit. I feel like it's messing it up. That's fairly good. I'm gonna kind of come across this backbone as well. This is not quite as bright as the dog in the front. So we'll grab a little white. I'm gonna do a little yellow ochre too. I'll grab a knife. Mix up a little bit more white and wax. That's pretty good. It's looking fairly good. Just kind of brushing across here, not looking to lighten this completely. Just bring a little bit of that light over. Put just a little dash of this on this windowsill as well. Same thing sort of through his shoulder. Yeah, that's nice. pretty good. I'll just put a little bit of brown onto this ball. It's a little bit really bright. Leave a little shadow under it. Blanket kind of settled in here. Just putting it's kind of dark in here. It's just casting a shadow on the blue that isn't quite showing. It's just making it look a little bit too kind of pasted on. That can be the downside of kind of working kind of a color at a time or a color area at a time. Sometimes you get things that don't look like they fit together, but there were a lot of different colors in this one, so I felt like it was still kind of worth breaking it down that way. A little bit of shadow here too. The same idea. A little ultramarine, a little white. I feel like I'm trying to get this kind of light blue edge here. It probably isn't that important, honestly, but I feel like it would be kind of nice. Seems pretty good. That might be about right. Just keep checking, looking at a little of this, a little of that. Am I there? Like, I really don't want to get too detailed with the background. It's like trying to find that right balance with it. Maybe it's best to let it be kind of silly and expressive like it is. whisker. I don't want to go too crazy with this. I don't really see any other ones, but he did have that little wisp there. I don't know. I think that might be about right for these guys. Every one of these is its own exploration, I guess. But am I calling it? I think I'm kind of calling it. Let's see. Just keep wanting to do one more thing. It's so easy. So easy to just get kind of wrapped up. There we go. I think that looks good. Couple little accents there on the collar. I think that's good. Yeah, let's just give it a signature. Two. Maybe a gray, maybe a pink. Where are we gonna stop? Alright. Alright. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night, or whatever you're off to next.